Commiserations, John. Just what are your overriding thoughts after that?
It was really disappointing, to be honest with you. I thought there were patches of the game where we were pretty good, but just fundamental errors. At this level, you might get thrown over the sideline once, but I think 4 times it ended up we got thrown over the sideline. That's just unacceptable. Kicks out on the full, kick off. They should have kicked off out in the full, but for whatever reason, we didn't have our foot on the sideline, and they get the scrum and score, and it should have been us with the penalty up on halfway. So they're in our hand. That's in our hands, So I look really disappointed with the result, and disappointed with some of the things that happened on the back of our our fundamental errors.
Was the real killer blow that Wigan tried just before half time?
Yeah, the one before half time, the one after half time. I still felt at 26-12 we were still in the game. We had a lot of ball down on their try line, and they stopped us. They really slowed the ruck down. They made it hard to attack, and we come up with some errors and a pass and intercept, and they scored again. So at 26-12, I really thought we were still in the game, but the try right on half time and then the try straight after half time really hurt us.
You probably summed it up, but they're not a team that needs a helping hand, are they?
No, they got the game that really suits them. A lot of errors from us makes you miss tackles, and when you're missing tackles, that's when they really make you pay. I thought we did a fair job on field, but we missed him too often because our line was staggered. But French and Smith, they're big guns. Probably 3-2 and 1 points for the game.
Any opinion on video referees? Sit there.
I don't want to sound like it's complaining, but if you take 5 minutes to make a decision, surely there must be a little bit of doubt there at some point. I don't know. What's your thoughts? If I sit there and watch a screen 5 minutes and the ref says no try, surely he must have a little bit of doubt on the fact that he got the ball down. I don't know if it was a try or not. There was too much happening. So, and the one just before half time too. I thought leads on the outside shoulder were going to be stopped, but not today.
If it's any consolation, Matt Pete thinks something needs to be done about the length of time that we're looking at the big screen. Is there something that can be done? Is there something that you as coaches can all band together and change?
Oh, look, just make a quicker decision. We're always going to disagree and agree. That if they take 5 minutes or 30 seconds to make that decision, you're still here asking me the question, and I'm still saying the same answer. So I think everyone at home would be thinking the same thing. Just make the call and move on and take what the referee says. If the referee says a try, well, you've got to prove it's no try. And only 2 or 3 angles would have said, well, there's a bit of doubt there, look, they're having troubles over at home as well. So, look, it's something that we're going to debate and talk about and argue for whatever we have video refs, I suppose.
Did we see the evidence that you've got a few injuries in the camp today, John? You had a few seem to be running on empty by the end of that.
Yeah, we're really struggling with our combinations in the centres and the back row. We've got guys playing out of position, and they've done a fantastic job. Pretty much for the last month, we've been without them. So might have caught up with a really, really classy side. I still think they're the benchmark. They're the side you just really hate to play. They just make you nervous because they're so dangerous. You saw it today. We switched off. We made some errors, and they're really, really hard to defend. So when they're at full strength, you just got to pay credit and say they're a really well coached, well drilled team, and that's where we want to get to.
Good to have Harvey Barron back.
Yeah, he was. I was really happy for him. He's worked really hard to come back, but still, those 2 boys have got a lot of learning to do. You just don't. Wingers don't get thrown over the sideline, and wingers don't throw passes inside their 10 when they're under pressure. So they're little things. They learn a lot from last year, I'm sure. But this year, if we want to make a statement in the competition, look, there's a long way to go. But I think they'll learn a lot out of today. I think they'll be better for it.
Did you pick up any injuries today?
I don't think so. I think we're okay. Few just getting sore. We're like I said to the players after the game, we're entering into the toughest part of the year. The middle third for me is always when you start to get a few creaks and a few bruises, and you've got to play. You got to play. You got to put that aside and play, recover the best you can, and just be as close to 100% as you can for the following weekend. And that's a learnt thing as well. That's not something you can tell someone to do. We got Zach Hardick is a good example. He just he's swathed in ice after every game, and he lucky to train sometimes first session in the week, but come game day he's ready to go. And that's something that everyone in the squad can learn from.
Did Herman have a throat issue, or did he take a knock in the throat?
I think he's got a bruised sternum, which he could have went back on, but once it went past 26-12, I think the score went 30-12. It wasn't long to go. Probably, the mind probably started to go towards next week.
And just finally, it was one incident we didn't seem to get lots of shots of the yellow card. Was that fair dues, that yellow card? We couldn't really see it.
It was late. I don't think it was high, but he was coming straight at him. I think they get into trouble mostly when they're sort of outside in or inside out, so the players are blinded from it. Liam was right in front of him, and it could have been a touch late. Hopefully, if anything, it's the really light end of the scale, because there was no malice in it. It was just a big fella going hard at him.
John, some good shape from your side at times. What's the key to sustaining and keeping that shape forward?
Not getting thrown in the grandstand when we've got the ball, mate. That'll help us. They're just fundamental errors. I think we can attack as good as anyone in the competition if we go set for set, and if we complete, whatever the acceptable figure. For us, it's over 80%. If we can do that, we can challenge any side defensively, but you can't do it stop-start. You've got to get into an arm wrestle, get a bit of fatigue in the opposition, and then the ball in hand, you're more effective. So we can't just expect to get a ball down there after dropping 3 or 4 previously, and you've got to build your game. And, we didn't do that today.
What are the main takeaways from today for you?
The things that we can fix is, and again, I'll say probably coming boring now, but it's just fundamental errors. You got to earn your right to play football. You got to respect that you got to sometimes just roll your sleeves up and get up the other end of the field the best way you can. And trust that they will make an error at some point, and that's how you get into the game. I thought we just gave them way too many opportunities, and we wouldn't have beat anyone today on the back of some of the stuff that we threw up.
John, looking at the team, it seems like finishing sets was like a big difference between the teams. I think that's the reason. Is that a factor you need to work on?
Yeah, like I said, I thought patches were very good, and that's as a group, that's what we've got to learn from. So that that's the type of football we need to play. We didn't. They were very good with their line speed, their wrestle on the ground. They were better than us at that as well. Which that's a big foundation for everything you do. They've been together a while, and they do that. I watch them every week. They do that very well. So, they smother you, and it makes it hard to get out of your own end. They don't make errors. That's why they're a very good team.
But encouraging side for you must be Price, like the way he plays.
Yeah, he challenges them. I thought he really challenged them. I thought if we got really tough on ourselves when it got to 12 all and knuckled down, that we definitely would have made a game of it. They did that. We got looser, and the scoreboard blew out.
John, you're still waiting to break your home duck. You've obviously only played against the top side so far, but when does that become a concern?
I'm not worried about where you win or where the game is, to be honest with you. Losing's the concern, and how you play. Probably not losing so much, it's how you play. So if you start giving that air, then you start thinking about it. And for me, it's a great stadium to play at. We've just got to find our groove. We've had, like I say, we've played Wigan twice a year. We've played KR twice a year. It's not to say we don't go out there and intend to win those games. We certainly do. But 2 standouts in the competition. Just unfortunate that we've had them, so early in the season. I do see brighter times. I see, for us, the honeymoon's probably over. We've had on the back of last year, we've had a pretty good start. So, like I said, this middle sort of 9 to 10 weeks, that's when you find out where you're about.
Going forward to Magic, are you expecting anybody's back in terms of?
No, I don't think so. No, Sam Massey will be available. He just couldn't play today because of the loan rule. But he played reserve grade on Friday night and was really strong. So, yeah, he'll be available for selection next week.
Just ask about Hammond. I know you said no injuries, but he came off and looked like he holding his chest or his stern.
Yeah, he could have went back on. He wanted to go back on, but when the scoreboard once it went from 26-12, and we had, like I said, I thought we were in the game then. But once the thing with the sternum is it doesn't get better; it stays with you. So it wasn't worth putting him back out there. We'll recover him and get him right for next week.